In this video, I'm going to show you how we got a 3x ROAS while doubling the net profit for one of our clients, and the system that we use to consistently do that for the clients that we work with. So you, by the end of this video, can basically just copy and paste our framework and use it for your own business. So that's what we're going to go through. I'm going to show you the framework, show you how we structured in the ad account, and also give you some tips and advice of how you can implement this with your own business to get the best possible results. And if you are new to the channel, my name is Oli. I started with paid advertising back in 2017 when I took my mom's e-commerce business from 5 to 18 million in yearly revenue in just 2 years with extremely profitable Facebook and Google ads. And since then, I started Strand Media, which is my performance marketing agency. And I've been working with more than 20 different businesses in more than 6 different countries, managing multiple 7 figures in ad spend. And this YouTube channel is just where I share the lessons and learnings that I have along the way. So if you're interested in learning more about how you can apply the best possible strategies for Facebook and Instagram ads to your business, make sure you click the subscribe button below and hit the notification bell so that you get updated every time I post a new video on this channel. So with that being said, let's get into this video. So as you can see on the results in front of me here, over the last 9 days, we've more than doubled the net profit for this client while increasing the efficiency, aka the return on ad spend, to a 3.08, which is extremely profitable for this client. And as you can see as well, we didn't really increase the ad spend too much. We just increased the efficiency of the ad dollars being spent. So we just restructured the ad account and applied our system that made the ad spend much more efficient. At the same time, we're also scaling the business. As you can see, we have more than 40% increase in sales in just those 9 days. And now I'm going to show you exactly the framework we use to get results like this. Now, one of the biggest challenges in 2024 is that it's very difficult to compete with your ads on these advertising platforms, especially Meta. It's getting more and more competitive. The CPM, aka the cost of advertising, has been going up over the last few years, and it's not as easy to get profitable results as it once used to be. So most ads, once you launch them, they're not really scalable. So the solution, which is simple in theory, but very difficult to actually execute on, is to increase both the volume and the quality of every ad that you're testing in your ad account. And that's exactly what we did for this client. So just to show you an example of an extract from some data from one of our best performing clients' ad accounts. As you can see on the red section here and the green section, you can see a lot of blue dots. Every dot is a new ad that we launched within their best performing campaign. As you can see in the beginning here, there wasn't that many ads being launched and none of them were really scalable back then. But over time, as we tested more and more, we got more and more scalable ads. So as you can see, some of these ads in the green section, which basically means that they were scalable, we could put more money behind them and they got us profitable results. There's still big differences between how scalable these ads are. So out of all of these ads, just a few of them are actually scalable. And the main takeaway from this is 2 things. In order to find these winning ads, as you can see on the top here, you need to increase the volume to also increase the probability of finding an ad that is scalable and can take your business to the next level. Now, at the same time, every ad that we are testing is an additional cost to the business, because to test an ad, you need to put some budget behind it to give it some data and to see if it works. And if it doesn't work, that money has only gone to the test. It's not making your business more money. So if you need a lot of tests in order to find these scalable ads, then the overall cost of finding these scalable ads are going to be unnecessarily high. So at the same time, you don't just want to launch a bunch of different ads with no thought or system or thinking behind it. You want to make sure everything that you launch in your ad account is, something you actually believe can outperform the best performing ads that are currently in your ad account, getting spend behind them. And that's exactly the system that we applied for this client. And as you can see, the results became really, really a lot better after we applied that to them. So our system is a 5-step system. It's very simple, but again, it's hard to execute and you really need to put a lot of effort in to make sure it actually works for you. The first part is analyzing your historic data and just utilizing what you already have, all the learnings you can potentially get from the data you've already paid for and invested in. So go through your ad account, figure out which type of creatives, headlines, ad copy, and targeting options are working the best for you. That's always where you should start, because when you actually sit down and start putting together your ads and setting up the creatives and the videos and the images and the carousels, you want to make sure that the effort you're putting in is based off of what is already concluded in your ad account. Like, you know that this format is going to work the best because historically it has. So you want to try to iterate on that and create something that works even better than what historically has been your best performing format. And then you just do the same thing for ad copy, images, videos. And when you've properly analyzed, you should have a really clear plan of where to spend your resources and focus in terms of the next ads that you should create. So with this research, you sit down and you start the ideation phase, which is just making sure you have a lot of different concepts and ideas put together for the different ads you can test. And the thing here is you just want to have a big list of all the ideas and concepts you can test. You don't want to limit it there. Just put everything you can think of down on that list. And then in the next steps, you want to try to limit it to just a few to actually execute on. But this list is extremely valuable because over time, you can always go back to it, look at the ideas that you came up with while doing this research, and try some new of it. Maybe in the future, when you have more data, it will make more sense to you and it will give you some more ideas in the future. So basically here, you just want to turn all that data into ideas and concepts that you can execute on either immediately or in the future. Now, before you start the production phase, you really want to make sure that what you're producing, that there's a hypothesis or an idea behind why you think that will currently outperform the best ads in your ad account. So before you start putting focus and resources behind actually creating maybe this video or this new design or whatever it is, make sure you have a hypothesis for why you think it can outperform. Because if you don't have a hypothesis, then it's very likely it's just not going to work. You're just throwing stuff at the wall with no system or strategy behind it. So definitely make sure you have an idea of why you think it can outperform, and also log that. We always log this in a database so that we can refer back to it and see why we were testing something. Because over time, when you have 5, 6, 10 weekly tests launched every week, you will start to forget some of these ideas that you have. So make sure you log this, because it will become super valuable for you and your business moving forward as you continue this 5-step method on a weekly basis. Then once you have this launched, make sure you run it for at least 7 days. 7 days is the absolute minimum. You want to make sure you have all the weekdays to test these new ads. And I'll now show you how we actually launch these new tests in the ad account for our client. So as you can see, this is our top of funnel prospecting campaign. And within it, every ad set is a separate batch. So one really important thing to note here is that the campaign has CBO, also now known as Campaign Advantage plus budget. So if we go into the campaign, you can see that we have the budget set to the campaign level. Now, if we open it up, scroll down. So if you open it up and you go to the campaign, you can see that we have the Advantage campaign budget ticked on. Now, this is extremely important because we want to make sure the algorithm can freely choose where to allocate the budget in between these ad sets and ads. Every ad set should be targeting the same audience. So that's how we have this set up. And as you can see, we have one ad set with all the winners. So when we have sufficient data in a new batch or in a new ad set, we take those winners and put them into the winning ad set. And then we turn off the rest of the ads in that batch so we can consolidate and get as much data into as few ad sets as possible while we're doing this testing. So right now, as you can see, we have the third batch for this campaign running. But as soon as we have data on that, we just move the winners into the winning ad set. Now, in terms of how many ads you should launch, this definitely depends on your budget, but I would say anything between 2 to 6 new ads on a weekly basis is the go-to amount. Now, after you conducted the test and you have sufficient data, make sure you analyze it to come up with new ideas for your next test. So if you have new data that is really telling a story, you can really see that there's one format that works much better than all the other formats, or there's one concept that works much better. Double down on that. Try to iterate on that. Come up with a twist or a little bit of a different tweak you can make that you think can outperform this video ad, or this image ad, or this carousel ad. Regardless of what it is, you want to switch it up a little bit to see if you can outperform it. And make sure you look at the data, you log the results, the conclusion you have with each batch in that database. And I'll show you how we do that for this client as well, so that you can always go back and see what your ideas were and what the results were. And then over time, this database will start to tell a story, and you will start to see trends of what is working best for your business. Now, one reason why it's so important to have this database is because over time, there will be a lot of numbers, a lot of metrics, and a lot of stuff that can make you overwhelmed. What we want to do every time we have new data coming in from a new batch, while we have this understanding of and context of what we tested and why we tested it, we want to log that in the database, which becomes more user-friendly than just opening your ad account, because there's just so many numbers to look at, and start to turn data into an actual story that will not only help you with the media buying and ideation, but can also help the rest of your team. So in terms of setting up email marketing, setting up product description, setting up your landing pages, you can use the learnings and the data that you've turned into an actual story on many other aspects of your business. So this is basically just making sure you're squeezing as much value you can out of the data that you're investing in when you start to run ads on Meta. So I'm now going to show you what that database looks like for our client. It's very simple. And if you want to get the template for this, make sure you click the link in the description of this video and I'll send you that to your inbox. You can basically just set up this yourself and start using it with your team. So every batch has an idea. We have a status for every batch, the channel we're running the test on, the start date and the end date. And as I said, usually you should always have a minimum 7 days for the testing that you're doing. Then you want to make sure you log the ad ideas in this database so that you can always search it up and look at which ads you actually put these findings and these hypotheses on. Then you want to put in the hypothesis. As I said, before you start creating new ads and new content, you want to make sure you have an hypothesis for why you think it cannot perform. If not, it's very likely you will just waste time, resources, and energy, and you're not going to move your business forward. This is a very simple strategic approach, but it's also extremely important to consistently execute on, because this will definitely make you learn a lot more. But logging it like this will also be a super valuable resource for your business over time. Then you also want to make sure that after the testing phase is over, when you have sufficient data, you write a conclusion. So as you can see in this example, it became a clear winner because I had the most purchases and the low CPA, and we can see that UD style format while sending traffic to the best sellers seems to be the best approach. So we continue to do many UGC style videos moving forward. Very simple conclusion, but it's backed by actual data, and it will always tell us a story that we can go back and look at when we run our next tests and the next batch in the future. Now, a quick tip that we actually do in my agency that has helped us out a lot is creating custom GPT models. So we're using AI. So we're actually integrating this database with a custom AI that is specifically focused on that brand and that has context to the KPIs, brand guidelines, target audience, and all of the basic information of the business. But it also has all the information over time of what kind of ads are working the best, and it will start to learn. So you can upload actual data points and your story that you get from this data into the database, and over time it will help you with creating ideas and concepts that you can try out. Obviously, it's not going to do all the work for you, but it's definitely a great way that you can quickly generate a bunch of new concepts and ideas that you can test. And over time, it also becomes a really valuable asset for your business. So this is something we do for our clients, and so far it's working amazing. We're getting a lot of good ideas and concepts by doing it this way. The thing is, you just need to give it a lot of context and data, because in the beginning, it's not going to customize the ideas and the concepts to you. But once it has a lot of data and you've trained it, it will become super valuable to make this process more efficient. Because you want to launch new ads on a weekly basis. That's also a main thing here. Every week or every other week, you want to make sure you launch a new test. So depending on how much data you're getting in, you want to make sure you're always launching new tests and trying to outperform your current best winners. So hopefully you found this video valuable. If you did, I would highly appreciate if you leave a like and a comment down below if you have any questions. And as I said, if you want to get the template for the database that we use for our clients, you can just click the link in the description and I'll send that to your inbox. So thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.